So engine final submission. I'll show you the game first. Here is my game. I am a car. They are tanks. I am going to pause right here and just give you the rundown. So these are my tanks that are following me. The bullets they shoot. This is the B-sphere. Right now I'm only having bullets collide and me collide. If you saw at the beginning, I do not initially have a B-sphere, but when the bullets start to spawn, when they start shooting, the B-sphere will then render, and then render on these guys. As well as that, I will... Oh, so the quote-unquote AI for my tanks are essentially... they are given every 15 or so seconds, they will take my position and move in that direction, but not in my they're not constantly moving in my direction, they're moving in about a 15 second or so position base. So I have an alarm set for the tanks. I'll go into that later, but they're just following a ghost image of mine. But this turret, which is the reason I'm using this crappy model that doesn't have a texture for whatever reason, is because it has a turret and a base, the T99 model that I think Deem posted. This is just constantly looking. The turrets are constantly looking in my direction, but the bodies are going in one specific direction that they like the ghost image. As you see, this is my HUD. I'll get into that later. The number of lives and the score and the position, just to show you that it can constantly be updated. And when I get to 0, I will move into the next scene to then show you test self. So right now this is test pair, which is bullet and car is what I called him. And then next will be trees, which will just be testing the trees. So this is the simple game. I'll let myself die, move in, pow. Next scene, see bullet collides with car, whatever. So this is just to test self. There's probably like 50 or more trees right now active. These are all the B-spheres active within them. Here you can see they're all colliding. I'm going to try and find one that better proves the accuracy of the B-sphere. This might prove it. That's space. Okay, so not touching, yada yada. That's obvious. Either way, they are. Yeah, I guess that's the best example I have from this running. They just randomly spawn. There's my pretty cabin. Here's my god camera. Here's the test itself. Here's the collision. This obviously has nothing to do with the tank game, but I don't know if you wanted multiple levels of the tank game. That just kind of seemed redundant, so I just showed you this instead in my second demo. I'll show you, this is the H of my engine. I don't imagine you cared enough for us to document the accessors and getters, the getters and setters. So I didn't document those. But all this essentially does is, as you wanted, cleans up when it's done, draws, doesn't actually do any of the drawing, but tells the scene to draw, and it's the start scene, and then we get to the scene manager, which does the updating. All it does is has the set and get right now. And then it has the reused commands, update, draw, initialize, as you'd expect, and then the scene will have all that stuff you expected. So the scene has all that information when you submit submit the command, get the camera, set the collision, and then registration. So all the registration is private because it's done through the guy's attorney, which is just essentially giving specific updatables or exables access to their own registration command. I kind of went overboard with it, but whatever. And then the associated managers for what's going on in the scene and such. And then I gave a little example as to why some are being terminated and some are not being terminated. And then here's all those. Wow, that's a lot of registrations. And yeah, that will end this video, and then I'll go on to the next one.